This started as a simple drone hyperlapse idea, a smooth day-to-night transition over Montreal. But wind, drift, and imperfect waypoints turned it into something much more ambitious. In this series, I'll take you step by step through how a failed drone shot evolved into a full VFX reconstruction, from flight planning to photogrammetry, 3D camera rebuilds, projections, and final color grade. In this first episode, we'll start where every great drone sequence begins: mission planning. I'll show you how I use Litchi and Google Earth Pro for precise mission design, how to convert missions to DJI Fly App compatible format, and how to actually execute those waypoints in the field. So let's jump right in. Let's start with the foundation of every cinematic hyperlapse: precise mission planning. For this project, I will use virtual Litchi Mission app, which is a standalone application, but also you can use web-based hub version of the Litchi Missions. Litchi Missions allows us to design a complex waypoint missions directly on the map long before even turning on the drone. Litchi lets you plan with cinematic precision. I want to mention as well that in order to be able to export CSV file, you will have to purchase the license for the Litchi application. But this is, I think, worth its money, and it costs around 30 Canadian dollars, I think. So that really worth to invest if you want to shoot some really high-end hyperlapses or even complex missions. So let's jump into Litchi app and let's start designing our mission. The shot that you saw in the beginning of this video is happening in Montreal. But I was taken off from somewhere around here and was flying above this road path towards the downtown area. So let's start planning the mission. My starting point for this particular example was over here, so I will just run at first point over here, and then I will fly above this road path until somewhere over here. And what's great about this waypoint, they have this above the ground option, and this is our AGL. So in this particular example, I was flying 100 meters above the ground on the first point, and my last point was a little bit more than that, so I think it was around 115. Also, you want to set initially your heading, so I think let's do it like that. So I will look on the road while flying, and then by the end of the waypoint here, what I would like to see, I would like to see that pass between these two buildings. So that's why my heading here will be maybe 0 or something like maybe 2, 3. And also what we will change, we will do gimbal pitch. So on the first point you can set it to interpolate, and what I want is in the first part of the shot I want to look more on the road, to have a little bit more those hyperlapse cars with the visible lights. So I will slightly shift it down. For now, let's say it's -13, and at the end I will keep it as is, so it will be just 0. Now, what's great about Litchi Missions, it actually allows you to preview it in 3D in Google Earth. And the way how it's done, you see here there is this Mission Hub icon with the Earth. So you just basically click on it and it will open the Google Earth for you and will show you your mission path. And as you can see already, so this is our altitude, and it's elevating a little bit towards the end of the shot. And now what is great about this, you actually can see it through the camera of the actual drone. So if you will go inside and expand it, you have this virtual mission camera icon, and if you will go there, you can actually preview what exactly you will see when you will go on set and actually shoot it with this particular waypoint. All right. And that's our shot, so it's looking similar to what you show in this intro of this tutorial. Now, if you want to adjust it, you can go back to your Litchi and do the necessary adjustment. Click again on the globe and it will re-import it to the Google Earth. Also, what is important to set on the waypoints, as you can see, it was something like 2 meters flight, and you can actually see it over there, and the distance is 657 meters. So what you want to do, you want to set your cruise speed, and for the hyperlapse, I usually go with 0.5 meter per second. This is the lowest that we can go in the settings of the waypoint, and the last one will be also 0.5. And as you can see already, our mission is around 30 minutes, which is particularly for DJI Mini 5 Pro will be on the edge of its battery life. So we will have probably around 3 to 4 minutes left to return it to home. And it's possible, because to return back, it depends on the wind, we'll probably need 1 minute. But just to be safe, I would set the speed to something like 0.7 meters over here, and then also 0.7 meters over here. It technically should reduce our flight distance, and as you can see now it's 21 minutes. So the hyperlapse will be a little bit less in the lens, but same time it will be more safe for us to execute this mission on set. Just always do some margin in order to have a safe return back to home. One more important thing, when you will first open the Litchi application, you will need to set your drone properly, whatever you use in Fluttershoot. And in order to change it in the virtual Litchi Mission application, which I'm using currently, you go into Setup and change Mission Settings. So, and here you can actually change your drone to the actual one which you're using. It has some general presets, but as you can see, it doesn't have, for instance, Mini 5 Pro, which I was using to shoot it. So you might need to change the max speed, ascent, descent speed, and FOV. But for the FOV, it's, I think 83 is pretty close to the Mini 5 Pro. Maybe it's a little bit different, but just 1 degree or 2. So it's not critical, and I didn't bother to change it. So for now, I'm just using DJI Mini 2 preset. That's important because from that will depends how you see your mission in Google Earth over here. Once you're happy with your mission, the next step is to actually export it as CSV file. And to do that, you go into Mission, Export CSV, export in, let's say, a Litchi Mission CSV file, and save it. Now, once we have our CSV file, we actually need to convert it to the DJI Fly App compatible format. And there is a great site, and I will put links into the description, that actually doing this CSV conversion. Once you exported your CSV, next you want to convert it to the DJI Fly App compatible format. And there is an online tool which is doing it for both hyperlapse and the regular waypoints, because they actually have a different format. So in order to do the hyperlapse, you need to convert it to the appropriate format. I will leave the links to the tools in the description of this video, but for now let's jump right in there and see how we can convert it. So this is the first one, which converts to the regular waypoint missions. And what you need to do, you just need to go to your file which we just exported, the CSV file. And one of the things that I usually change here, the heading mode I'm setting to manual, so that it was just using the values which we just set in the Litchi mission. And then over here you actually can see that there is a mission speed. Now it's a bit confusing, right? Because we have waypoints speed that we already set it up in the Litchi mission, and we expecting it to fly 0.7 meters per second. Now, and this one doesn't even give us the option to have it 0.7, and also it doesn't give us option. So what it is, you will see it later on, but in general this is a global mission speed, which is, I don't think, actually changing anything if you have the specific waypoint value set in the mission, right? So I will just leave it at 2.5 for now. And also it is important to keep execute configurateless action of the signal over here so that it was using your settings. But you later on you will see that you also can change it on the RC2 controller or RC Pro or any other controller which you use. Let's generate the mission, and as you can see, it's already set it for us 2 waypoints, exactly as we set it in the Litchi Mission application. So we just have to download the KMZ file, and it's over there now. And for Hyperlapse, because we were shooting Hyperlapse, we want to have something different in terms of the conversion, right? So I will go to the same CSV, and I think it's downloading into download folder anyway, but I will set it up. For this particular case, I was shooting with the 2 seconds interval per frame. Now, and for the duration of the hyperlapse, as you can see over here, it's set to 15, but this is not actually 15 minutes of flight, right? As you can see here, it is seconds. So we will have to convert our flight time to the appropriate duration in seconds. And in order to calculate that, we have to take our flight time, 21 minutes over there, multiply it by 60. This will be our total flight time in seconds. We will have to divide it then by 2, which is our interval. So we will get number of frames which we want to shoot for that flight speed and direction. And the next, what we want to do, we want to divide it by 25, because that's the number which used in DJI Fly App for the video conversion. It actually produces video with 25 frames per second. So we will divide it by 25, and this is our 25.2 seconds of flight. Let's just set it up at 25, and the next step is just exporting it. So I will again download it, and as you can see, it has the different format. The before one was the KMZ, and the Litchi Mission's Hyperlapse, it's different one. So let's actually take a look what it is. So this is our exported zip file, and actually let's take a look what is inside. And as you can see, inside it has the folder Hyperlapse pass with the number, and then it has the JSON file, and then 2 other files, which is essentially our 2 waypoints. Now you will have to extract it and put into the appropriate location on your RC2 controller in order to work it with the Hyperlapse. And next I will show you how to do it exactly. What you're doing, you're just connecting your RC2 controller to your personal computer, and let me just open another Explorer window. So this is the content of the RC2 controller, and now let me just well, I will rename it later. Now let me just extract this archive over here. So that will be our Hyperlapse mission, and all the missions lives in a bit different places. So you just go into Android folder, data, go V5, files, and here as you can see we have the waypoint folder over there. Now in order to make it work, first you will need to create a dummy placeholder mission on your RC controller, and I will actually show you later how to do that. But as of now, because I already have a dummy one, what you have to do, you just need to go inside, and as you can see there is some KMZ file with some naming. So you just copy your file, copy the name of the file. You can delete the file after that and change the file name to the same name over here, right? So now this is the waypoint mission, which is used for the videos or manual photos or whatever you want to use it for, but it's not a Hyperlapse. Now, where the hyperlapse lives? So you just going up a few times to the main files folder, and you will see here the hyperlapse folder over there. So we just going inside, and as you can see, and this is the one which I created for the previous flight, I have this folder here with this particular name, and this is similar to what we have over here. So you just copy the whole folder, and it has identical content, right? JSON and 2 waypoint files, JSON and 2 waypoint files. So now once you copied that, you're good to go. And in the next chapter of this tutorial, we will actually take a look what we see on the controller, and we will do some test flying. But unfortunately, I will not go to the same location. I will just do it nearby with the another missions that I will create in advance. Okay, so we'll adjust at 3 waypoints over here. I will change the curvature to have some radius there. Now what I want to do, it is important to set your altitude above the ground, otherwise it will be on the ground. Right, as you can see, it's now almost on the ground, so you have to set it like that. Let's say I want 45 meters over here above the ground, and will rise a little bit, 55, and on the last point I want to go on, let's say 70 meters above the ground, and I will go with the minimal speed, right? And what I want to add also the point of interest, just for the sake of something different. And as you can see now, all the waypoints located at this point of interest, and you can have more points as well. So our point will be on the ground, right? So now I will export this, put it on the controller, and I will actually go for the flight. Okay, now let's try out our waypoints which we just created. And if you will just try to do hyperlapse mode over here and try to open the waypoints, it will actually doesn't allow you to do that until your aircraft is flying. So let's take off. And let's go somewhere over there. Yep. So now we will go to do the hyperlapse waypoints, and now you just have to open this option here, and we will open our mission. Now we will have to change a little bit the settings of the hyperlapse. So if you will go to the settings, it is actually set now to 20 seconds interval, and we just want 2 seconds obviously, and then the minimal length is 8 seconds, which is fine. So let's just go with that. Another thing you want always to check if your focus is set correctly. I usually using it when I'm shooting landscapes, I'm using infinite focus. And then for the camera settings, you want to go for the pro mode, don't shoot it with after. And usually when you're going for 2 seconds interval, you have to set your shutter at 1 for the proper motion blur with 180-degree rule, but in our case it's overblown. So we know that with this bright day, to achieve 1 second of a shutter speed, you will have to go for ND filter 1000. So for now, just to see something, we will set it to this value here, like that. Always also make sure that you save in as RAW, not the JPEG one. And one thing you also want to check if your obstacle avoidance is switched to off, because sometimes in hyperlapse specifically, when it just feels the wind, it can just stop suddenly and it will actually ruin your shot. So for the hyperlapse mode, I really suggest to switch manual obstacle avoidance to off. And now let's just try to record it.
and see what it does. So it's now moving to the position, rotating it, setting the gimbal, and starting recording the hyperlapse. So it will go through all of these 3 points and will record the whole thing, and then it will create the MPEG-4 file with 25 FPS, but also it will save raw data, which we will use later on in this tutorial from the actual shoot in downtown Montreal. So for now I will just stop the hyperlapse, we'll land, and we will continue with the tutorial.
I'm back home, and now I would like to touch one more topic. If you notice when we was doing the flight that the interpolation between these waypoints on the hyperlapse was actually straight lines. Is there a way to fix that? Yes, there is a way, and I will show you later on how to make it work. And also, that was a hyperlapse, and this is the waypoints of the same mission that I exported from the Litchi app. And as you can see here, the curves there actually was not straight lines. There is some sort of a curvature with the waypoint in it. So this is more natural, but it was still not matching at all to what we had in the app. And the reason for that, because in the app there it was set as like curved turns. In fact, in DJI Fly App, the drone must always pass the waypoints, right? It cannot do that kind of a curve which was set in the application. And I want to introduce you now, they actually released recently on the Litchi, they released a new hub for the mission planning, and I think going forward I will more use that application rather than the one which I used before, the older one. So let me show you how it works. So as you can see here, this is exactly the same mission that we was doing with the curve, right? But what I was saying, that when you're trying to import this into DJI Fly App, it always passes on this point no matter what. Yes, it was curving, but all of that was pretty straight. And what happens is, if you will switch here from curved turns to the smooth curves, that's exactly what happens. And this is what your trajectory is looking like when you're doing the conversion to KMZ file. And if you will now export like that to the controller, your flight will look exactly like this. So you can just go to over here, select your mission, export, and as you can see here, they also implemented direct KMZ export to DJI Fly App, which is great, so you don't have to do the conversion on the site which I mentioned, right? So you can just export, save it, copy, and use it. But here is the catch. If I will try to export CSV file, as of now, it's not implemented. So if you want to use this tool with the hyperlapse missions, at the moment you cannot do it because it is using different format. And now I will show you another example that I just pre-made over here. You can see, for example, our mission is fly from the ground level up to the top of the tower and have a point of interest at the top of the tower. Doing it manually will be pretty hard, so that's why using Litchi missions is a beneficial thing. Let me just show you some more options in this app. In this new app, you can actually switch to 3D like this, so you can see your curve in 3D. But also what is great, they actually implemented here Google Earth geometry, which is amazing. So now you can directly preview your flight path in the app itself without needing even to install the Google Earth. And also what great they have is the simulation as well. So whatever we've seen in the Google Earth, the path simulation, you can do it as well. So if you will switch here, it was free by default, but if you switch here to FPV and then here you will click to the simulate, it will actually show you the flight path. So we go in above and just keep in point of interest, which is over there. Now, I also did try to export this exact mission to the controller and actually see if this curvature is actually matching in the Fly app. And let's check it right away, if it's matching or not. And this is the recorder from the RC controller itself. So let's see how the path looks like. And as you can see, it's matching pretty close to what the plant over here. It seems like it's working nicely without using this curved waypoints. You just need to go with this if you're planning to use the DJI. The last question which remains untouched: how can we do the hyperlapse but with the correct waypoints? So let's say we have this kind of mission and we want to shoot it like a hyperlapse rather than a regular mission. And currently, if you will just again try to export it as CSV, it will not allow you in the first run. And secondly, even though if you can just do the conversion of the mission, for example, to the KMZ, then you can convert KMZ to CSV and then convert CSV to the hyperlapse waypoints, it will look still wrong because all your interpolation will be in general linear. So I assume that in hyperlapse, if you will do this, let me just go to the mission settings, generally speaking, looking like this. So this is what we will get in our hyperlapse, that you will just get the straight lines. But definitely we don't want to have that. So how we can fix that? And one of the possible solutions I found to subdivide each pass onto extra waypoints. And I'm not doing it manually, so we could just do like this, add more points, and just do it like this, but it's really not productive way of doing. So I just wrote Python script which doing it for you. And let me just show you how it works, and also I will share that Python script in the video description. So as you can see, I already converted our KMZ file to our CSV file. Now let me just show you the Python script command over here. The way it works, you just specify the path to your Python script, which I will share. Then you specify your input CSV file, output CSV file, and then you have also spacing, tension, and point of interest, pitch, which can be on or off. And the tension is the Catmull roll interpolation, so leave it just at 0. You don't have to touch it. And the spacing is the distance between immediate points in meters. Let's say if you have 10 meters between points, so if you will specify 2, then it will add extra 5 points. You're running the script, and as you can see, it is generated for you the dense option for the mission, and it says generated additional 91 points. And I've already imported that CSV to the Fly Litchi Hub, and let's just compare how those both looks in general. Right, so this is our original, and this is the dense one. This is original, and as you can see, it is exactly same. It just have way more waypoints. Even if you will export it as linear to the hyperlapse mode, what you will get is this look, right? So if I will switch to the linear to straight, that's what you will get, and it is pretty close, right? So yes, those will be straight lines, but in general, the output will be pretty identical. And the very last thing I just want to show you, because maybe you was wondering what actually those two files are for the hyperlapse. In fact, if you will just rename it as JPEG, for instance, and just open it up, it's just a screenshot which it takes when you create a waypoint in DJI Fly App, nothing else. So if you want to have it, you can just put here JPEG with the same naming, and then it will be showing in your DJI Fly App with the images. In the next part, I will show you the footage which I actually captured that day on day shoot and night shoot. We will evaluate both clips, how different they are or accurate enough to do a transition. Then we will check the flight logs, the paths that we got for each flight, and decide what to do next. We will start also looking into the photogrammetry in Capture and Reality, and actually start doing some visual effects tricks. So thank you for today and see you on the next one.